Hi, Sharks. We're Jamie and Jalea, the husband and wife team behind Nourish Bloom Market.
We're here today seeking a $400,000 investment for 5% equity in our company.
Man, he's going
Sharks,
crazy.
it's no secret that fresh and healthy food is a necessity for all living things. But did you know that a shocking 1 in 8 Americans live in food deserts where fresh and healthy food is scarce? In urban areas, people may live over a mile away from any fresh produce. And in rural areas, that distance can stretch to more than 5 miles. But we're here to change that.
Introducing Nourish Bloom Market. Sharks, we're on a mission to build micro markets like this in food deserts across America. These markets are going to provide 24/7 access to the freshest foods, not that processed junk food that you see in many convenience stores today. Our Nourish Bloom markets can eradicate a food desert in just 3 months. Now that's a recipe for change.
Just check out what we're doing in our current flagship store. Thanks to our proprietary AI, customers can walk into our store using our app, start shopping, and then walk out. And Sharks, our game-changing technology slashes overhead costs and boosts margins, making our AI-enhanced micro markets a giant leap ahead of big box grocers.
And it's not just about food desert, Sharks. We're spicing things up on college campuses, offices, hotels, and airports too. Because who doesn't like eating healthy on the go?
So Sharks, who wants to take a bite out of food deserts and nourish and bloom the world?
Good job.
So do you just
We are back with another Shark Tank Breakdown episode. I am your host, Dave, almost 10-year intellectual property attorney dealing with everything from trademarks to patents and so much more. Now, this is interesting. Nourish Bloom. We'll take a look at the website, see if they protected at least a trademark. It doesn't look like they have the trademark in an R in a circle at the end that puts people on notice that this is a registered mark. As an IP attorney, I want you to let people know that you have IP on your business or in your business so that, if they try to copy it, they will be dealt with accordingly. Now, I actually like this idea. Now, I haven't heard of the term food desert. So if you heard of that, please leave your comment of what that is. At least I still didn't get a good understanding of it from that explanation. But if you heard of the term food desert or are familiar with that term, please leave what it means in the comment section. I definitely think it's an interesting term to use, food desert. In terms of the proprietary software, as an IP attorney, when I hear proprietary, I think of something that's new, something that's patentable. Now, again, I understand that these Shark Tank episodes are typically, a lot of times are hour long, and they're cutting it down to 8 to 10 minute episode for us to see. So I'm not sure if the Sharks to kind of flush them out on what's proprietary about it, because I've definitely seen kind of stores where you have to get buzzed in to go in and shop, and then you essentially kind of get buzzed out, and maybe they have somebody working, maybe it's nobody working, because you're, again, essentially getting buzzed in and buzzed out, and you have to put in your card information and things like that. So I'm not sure if that's what he said, proprietary. I know I've definitely seen that before. I could see this thing actually working in an airport big time, but hopefully they're not operating this thing in California, because the way they're running up in stores, stealing or whatnot. Now, maybe since this is healthy stuff, the people are in California, they're not stealing healthy stuff. Maybe they're kind of stealing stuff that they can sell on the street, whether it's Nikes and Adidas and different stuff from CVS or Walgreens or whatnot. But maybe they're not stealing stuff that's healthy in California. But to the extent that they are, hopefully they're not operating this type of a pop-up shop. It gives vibes of a pop-up shop that's automated and doesn't have any workers or has very few workers. Hopefully they're not kind of utilizing this thing in California. But I mean, I'm liking what I'm hearing so far. I want to hear a little bit more about, I guess, the product and like I said, this term food desert. I would imagine that the Sharks would flush this stuff out as well. So let's get back to it. Let's see what the Sharks think about it and kind of get a little bit more information on Nourish Bloom. It's an interesting name. Let's go.
do you provide the food, or is it just the technology
Yeah,
or
no,
the
for
whole
sure.
shoe
Good
match?
question.
We provide everything. So currently right now, we actually have a flagship store in Georgia. We have, a distributor that brings in products to the store.
like they do have
How it works is that
registered
customers
mark.
would download our app. They would put in their payment information.
Yep.
They would scan to enter the store. They can pick up whatever items they want. And then when they walk out,
Charge the
they
card.
receive a receipt.
I'm not going to say they're problems, but they're three issues. Number one, this is a real estate play. Number two, it's a logistics play for fresh food items, which in itself is a really complicated business. And then there's a tech stack on top of it.
Correct. So
I
we
mean,
actually
if you want to
have-
make a complicated package, you just brought one to the Shark Tank.
For sure. Well, why don't we find out about you?
What's
We
your
know
background?
nothing
What's
about
your
your
background?
background.
So the reason why we actually got into the food industry is because of the fact that actually I grew up in a food desert, White Plains, New York. I had access to the corner store, which was, quarter waters, cinnamon buns and ice cream.
I grew up in Dobbs Ferry.
All right. And so, and if you didn't know, quarter waters are pretty much just sugary drinks with dyes. And so, but fast forwarding, my oldest son was diagnosed with autism at the age of 2 years old. And so we wanted to build something for him to help him in the future. Because during our research, it showed that healthy meals for kids can actually help children.
Now, I want to stop what he's saying for a second, because I love the fact that, again, a lot of times when people are starting businesses, having IP, trademarks, patents, they're typically solving for a problem. And a lot of times that problem is personal to the people. It seems like this gentleman, their son, and I love the fact that it's a husband and wife duo. I'm starting to kind of love these when I see them on Shark Tank. I know a few episodes before it was a few of them as well. And I think that teamwork, especially within the African-American community, I think that's something that's going to kind of push us forward in a way that's necessary for us to kind of get back to maybe something that we once was as far as kind of family units. But kind of setting that to a side for a second, the fact that they have an autistic son and it was a no problem around, okay, maybe shopping on his own and getting nutritious items, and they just didn't do nothing with that. They turned that into a business. It'll be interesting to see what their backgrounds are, but I would imagine, like I said, as Mr. Wonderful said, from a logistics standpoint, fresh food and a tech, this wasn't an easy company to start, and I can't imagine this being something that was easy to start. But their why, as ET would say, was big enough to the point where it pushed them through all the heartaches, the difficult times, the obstacles that they had to overcome to kind of get this to a point where, again, they have a flagship store in Georgia. They're looking to expand this. So, man, good for them. I love to hear these stories. And let's get back to what he was saying. And I like what they're doing as a husband and wife duo and why they're doing it already. So let's see if the Sharks like it as well.
That are on the spectrum. And so that was really the thing that just drove us on our mission to really help people to eat healthier. We're actually the first autonomous grocery store in the southern United States. We have cities across the country that are coming to us because they need a solution for food deserts in their cities.
How many people does it take to run one of these?
So
including
that's
sourcing.
Right. So that's one of the things that's so great about it. It's that our staffing has been reduced significantly. So really one person.
What's your shrinkage? What
With
gets stolen?
our shrinkage is actually really low. We're at 1.8%.
Wow, that's good.
Because
That's less than a national average, right?
Less than the national average
because of this technology.
Absolutely.
And again, just for, I guess, the audience don't know shrinkage. The shrinkage is goods that they have to throw away for whatever reason, or they have to kind of discard for whatever reason, getting stolen or expire and things like that. That's what shrinkage is, for those who are trying to understand what that term is. So let's go. Let's get back to what they're talking about. But it seems like their shrinkage is less than the national average, which is amazing.
All this comes down to your flagship store.
Correct.
What did it cost you to build? How long did it take? What are your sales last month, as an example? And are you making money?
Yeah. So when we first deployed our first flagship store, it cost us $1.5 million
Wow.
to
Where
build.
they get that from?
Okay. And how long ago was that?
So we actually opened our store in January of 2022. And so we have lifetime sales of over $800,000 since opening.
Really?
Okay.
Let's talk about last month.
Yeah, so last month we did $22,000 in sales for the month.
That's good.
We are not profitable yet. This was our POC, right?
That's your proof of concept. What's your next one going to cost?
With
about?
our container stores, we can actually open one for $400,000.
Wow.
We actually have 4 different models that we can deploy. So we have our brick and mortar store, we have our container store, which is the video that you just saw.
And how big was that in square feet?
300 for the container stores. We have our smart vending machine, and then we also have our
Satellite store.
our satellite stores that we can place within hotels. So there's
It seems
different
like
I like
a
them in the
ways.
lot.
in
It
how
hotels.
we
I
seems
like
like
them
a
in the
lot of
airport.
options to work on at once. Which produces the most money for you?
The actual container stores are going to be highly profitable, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
what we've learned is that smaller is actually better. The micro markets will actually be able to net profit of 25%.
Listen, guys, I like to really help my entrepreneurs and I like to be really successful. I don't really know anything about this business. I'm sorry, I'm out.
Thank you.
Thank you, Laura.
For me, it's like investing in a sea.
Seems
I
like
don't know where
Barbara, if
my
she
boat's
doesn't
going to go.
understand
You
it, she's
know,
out.
it's just not clear enough what I'm hearing. I'm out.
Which is actually a good point. If you don't understand something, then don't invest.
How much have
in
you
it.
guys raised?
So we've raised from friends and family $440,000.
Nice.
We also got an SBA loan. That was for $875. And then we have a couple convertible notes that came after the fact for
And how much are those notes for?
So we have notes for $250,000.
So you're in for $1 million plus friends and family,
Mhm.
1.4.
How much cash do you have left right now?
So we are literally living off of the revenues from the store. So we
You
are actually
burn-
putting
you burn-
and we're putting in a lot of our
I'm not
Yeah,
saying
we
it's
put
good or
in a lot
bad,
of our own.
but everything you've raised, you burned through already,
Yeah.
right?
right. We have.
You know, you're in the category of the thinnest margins of any sector in the economy, grocery.
Yeah,
I mean, it
That's
just
true.
doesn't get worse.
that's true.
If you could think of a more hellishly complicated deal, I don't think I've seen one worse on Shark Tank. I mean, you've got to get it right in 3 different verticals every time. But the demand is there, no question. For me, this is going to the governor of a state and saying, look, we know what we're doing. We've got this store. We can put 40 of these in your state. They are the CEOs of every state, and they can help you because the private sector is going to have a very hard time valuing this.
I'm going to say something sacrilegious for this group. But did you ever think of this as a non-for-profit?
This is actually a for-profit business.
I can tell it.
Yeah,
I
no,
can
but,
tell that it
because
is.
even the technology, we can license this to other small and
Yes.
mom and pop retailers because they
Franchising.
also are going to be able to use this.
We're here because of the fact that, quite honestly, you're great marketers. You can help
Man, I
us
want to
to
see what their
really
technology is
put
that they
this
have
out
protected.
to America
I've
so
seen
that
this
we can
before. Maybe
really
when I saw it, it's
eradicate
actually
food
there.
deserts, and you can make money off of this.
You guys are doing an incredible job. And my heart is saying yes, but my shark nature is saying no, because the messaging is a little bit mixed. Eventually, you may be absolutely right. You could make gazillions of dollars, but right now, you're sitting a little bit in between for-profit and non-for-profit. And the second thing is, the minute I hear we're starting out, we've got 4 different, quite very different things, I get nervous for those 2
Just
reasons.
focus
I'm
on
out.
one of them, or the one that's
Thank
most
you.
profitable.
I mean,
and build
I
off
really
that.
want to make sure that I'm clearing this up. When I show all the different ways that we can deploy, it's just showing the flexibility.
Julie,
Yeah,
let me,
we can put
I'll
it.
tell-
We can
I'll-
put
look,
this technology.
We
in
got it. We
airports,
got it. We got it. We got it. We got it.
subways.
I mean, I can't imagine how many problems you deal with every day on this stuff. Look, I wish you the best.
Wow.
I'm out.
Hey, guys,
Thank you.
let me just give you the brutal honest. Your finances are a disaster,
Wow.
right?
I mean, that's one of the things that's been so hard for being entrepreneurs and Black entrepreneurs. And like, if we just with this idea, the fact that we've been able to get
Well,
open,
To get this
Open.
far.
I'm not taking anything away from you guys, right?
Thanks.
Because we've all had our backs against the wall where it's like, we got to get to the next day. I will figure it out and I will roll what I have to roll to get there. I get it. And when you turn back and look at it, it's a mess, right? But that's what you had to do to cobble it all together to live. But it's not really investable for me, you know, so for those reasons, I'm out. But Dallas has many food deserts. What I want to do is help you if you come to Dallas, introduce you who you need to be introduced to, whether it's the city of Dallas or the state of Texas that can provide you a grant or support. When you're ready to come to Dallas, I will help you.
Nice.
We're ready now.
we're coming on
We're
Monday.
ready now.
We're going on Monday.
ready
He's trying to get
We're
a
going
deal.
on
Ready
Monday.
right now.
Good luck, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. Oh.
Tough part about
This
business,
is a
man. It doesn't
mission
always work
for-
out. Doesn't always work out, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna take a look at their website. Let me know if you would use one of these food deserts. I swear, and it was in an airport, and I'm not sure if it was theirs or another company's where you have to pay, or you have to scan your card. It was maybe it was one person in there, but it wasn't like anybody can't just walk in there. You had to give your information and such that if you were taking something, you can tell that they were charging your cards, and if you leave, then I love it for the airports and the hotels, because I think it's a little bit more protected in that way. But just something that's kind of along the street, man, it seems like, as Kevin talked about, that can be a nightmare, especially just in terms of kind of the different things they have to worry about. Let's see here. Let's go to free shipping on orders. So I seen on Shark Tank, man. I actually man, I just like the idea. I'm gonna try to get them on a podcast. I'll be interested in what the technology is that they're talking about licensing out. Seems like these are some products that they have, some coffee blends and some apparel here. 1 in 8 Americans live in a food desert. I like that mock up there. Investwood is partnering with us. I actually like the website. It's pretty cool. Kind of take you through the process there. Yeah, it doesn't have any of their IP on here. And they're talking about the technology that they can license out. Again, even talks about franchising, licensing, or vendor opportunities. I think the licensing, what marked them? I hate when I do that. I don't. So this is the website here. Let me kind of go back up top. That's seen on Shark Tank. I hate when I do that when I'm not. This is one of the mock-ups that they showed. Seems like that said this one can be the more profitable one. I like the ideas that the Sharks was given as far as Mr. Wonderful saying, hey, go to the governmental bodies of the state and kind of have them to kind of force this on people. I guess the free markets are ultimately going to decide. Then, that was nice of Mark to help them out once they're ready to kind of come to Texas and introduce them to whoever they need to be introduced to. Again, I'm interested in seeing what the technology is, because they talked about the technology and whether or not that's protected. To the extent that it is, then maybe you can kind of license that out, and maybe that's something. But again, I think, as Mr. Wonderful said, you're dealing with food, which we all know that's a tough business and razor thin margins. You're dealing with the logistics of everything, and then you got the technology. So it'd be interesting. So that's their website. Let me go to the USPTO site, see if they have at least the name trademarked. I kind of put it in a test database beforehand. So let's go to the trademark search here, and bada boom, bada bang. So again, if you want to go to the test database, see if a mark that you are thinking about or that you have is showing up, first go to Google. The easiest way to go to Google, type in test, TESS. That is the official trademark database of the United States Patent and Trademark Office here in the U.S. And then just type in a word. You see I have the word mark. I type in Nourish Bloom, which is their thing, and they have it registered. It seems like Vitalize is a LLC is the name of the company. This is a Delaware corporation, and have a number of different classes. Nutritional supplements, online retail store services in the field of nutritional and fitness products. Providing a website feature information on exercise and fitness, and I didn't see that on the website, and providing information, news, and commentary in the field of nutrition, health, and wellness. So they're in a number of different classes. Each class you add to the application costs additional money. Nourish Bloom, I actually like the name of it. Okay, so they have a couple different trademarks. This seems just to be a word mark, and this seems to be a word mark in combination with a logo here. Man, that's interesting that they got Nourish Bloom Market. Seems like this is somebody else. I'm not sure if that's the lady name, but that's interesting if it's that close. But good for them. It seems like they're protecting their IP. Let me bring it back on me. They seem like they're protecting their IP, definitely via trademarks, which I love to see as an IP attorney. Like I'm still interested on what's the technology, and if they, to the extent that they do have technology that's proprietary, is it protectable? Because anybody who's trying to license this technology from them, they're going to want to see that it's protectable. So that's something that I'm gonna try to reach out to these guys, see if I can get them on the platform to explain the technology part, their story, but it's particularly the technology part, and kind of try to find out more information on that as an IP attorney. Hey, let me know if you saw this thing at your local beach, if you saw this thing in the airport, if you saw this thing in your neighborhood, would you go to it? I will hope that the prices are a little less, because you don't have to deal with manpower. You don't have to deal with the cost of brick and mortar, a large brick and mortar facility. So at the flagship store, man, you root for these guys. It seems like, I want to say they got in over their head, but it's a lot of obstacles, challenges that they're facing to the extent that they burn through that money. I'm curious about the IP side of things, because again, to the extent they do have protectable IP, that licensing may be a big thing for them to start earning revenue. So like I said, I'll be very curious to ask them about this. Let me know, would you kind of use this service? Would you kind of purchase the food? Or if you have, let me know what your thoughts was. If you're in that Georgia area, you're listening to this, leave in the comment section. What do you think if you use their service, went to their store or whatnot? So I would love to hear that. And again, I'm trying to bring you guys value as an IP attorney, so that you guys can take these ideals that you have in your head, because we all have these ideals, and protect them, number one, and then go on to start a business and be successful. So hopefully you guys got something out of this video today. Until next time, you guys take care.